Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Shelley Plumb, and I'd like to welcome you all back to this segment of From the Hip. Today we are going to switch gears. We are going to talk about fear with regards to finances. Now, I will tell you, my financial journey has not always been a smooth one, and I'm sure a lot of you out there can relate. Sometimes I feel like I'm climbing a mountain. I get to one ledge and then there's another segment that I need to get through. So today, we have heard you. A lot of you have questions about finances, so we set out to find an expert with regards to financial planning and financial investments. We found Brian Rudenberg. Now, Brian is a financial advisor, and in a moment we will be back and we are going to talk about climbing that financial mountain and planning properly for our future. So stay tuned. Welcome to Plumb Talk Productions, a full-service production company based in West Palm Beach, Florida. Business owners know that every second of the day is a unique opportunity to reach out to an audience and make an impact. Which marketing options do we dive into and spend our hard-earned dollars? Here at Plumb Talk Productions, we have done our research and we can sum it up all in one word: video. How powerful is video? Well, let's look at some percentages. How about 64%? After watching a video, 64% of users are more likely to buy a product or service online. 100%. YouTube reports that mobile video consumption rises 100% every year. How about 200%? It has been documented that video and email leads to 200 to 300% increase in click-through rates. Oh yes, audiences are most certainly expecting more and expecting it faster. In a day and age when people are overwhelmed with facts and time is limited, they want information in real time. They want it immediately. Video is the perfect medium for that. Plumb Talk Productions is a full-service production company dedicated to helping you find your voice in an efficient, competent, and creative manner through video. What do? The sky is the limit, really. We are pleased to offer many services, from on-location shoots to promotional video and customized Facebook Live video. If you can dream it, we can stream it. That's what we say, and that is the truth. Are customers paying attention? People ask us that all the time. Oh yes, the customers are certainly paying attention to video. That is why we must, as business owners, make every second count and increase revenue through the power of video. At Plumb Talk Productions, we can do this fast and affordably with the quality our consumers expect. So, reach out. Reach out now. We're easy to reach through our website at PlumbTalkProductions.com. Call us at 561-855-0764. Don't wait. Now is the time for video. We are dedicated to helping you make every moment count. Well, hello everyone. We are back and I am here with Brian Rudenberg. Now, Brian, you are a financial advisor.
That's correct. I work for Wells Fargo Advisors, Wells Fargo Clearing Services, LLC, down in Miami, Florida.
Wow. You know, I know from our prior conversations that you are so well versed in the financial arena. How many, and we were talking about fear just a moment ago, how many people let fear stop them with regards to finances, do you think?
I think a lot of people have fear with the unknown in regards to their financial affairs.
That's true, yes.
Especially, it's very situational. If you're coming out of, for example, a divorce, or you're recently widowed, and your financial picture changes, and you don't have a relationship with a me prior, it can be very scary, and there can be a lot of fear.
Right. And I mean, I will speak from my standpoint. You know, I talked about climbing a mountain. I truly have, at times in my life, felt like I was at the base of the mountain looking up at my financial future. And it was hard, first of all, to take that first step. So let's talk about that. For those of our viewers that are out there right now that are at the base of the mountain, maybe they don't have a tremendous amount of education with regards to finances. What can they do? What are some of the first steps to really start the trek up the mountain?
Well, I would say right away there are organizations in town that can help guide men and women to the right place to help them, guide them financially. You can connect with a me
Yes.
and make sure you have a good emotional and educational connection with that person.
That's true.
So the first thing is anything is a good first step. Even if you're on the computer and you're just Googling some basic questions,
Yes.
you can find out information there. You can find out information from friends or families that have experience in the space that you don't.
Right.
I think ultimately you're going to need someone who's going to take the time and patience to really educate, learn about you, and then take your financial affair and wrap it holistically and then move you forward.
That's a great point, and I want to emphasize what you just said, because I know that what has stopped a couple of our viewers who have reached out and has stopped me personally is the fact that I was insecure in going to the financial advisor, and I actually had people at times really almost talk down to me, not really understanding. So that is something about you that makes you unique. Well, how is your approach to making your customers or your clients feel welcome? How do you do that?
I focus a lot on two types of connection.
Okay.
One is an emotional connection first.
Yes.
So if they don't have any education or guidance or experience with me prior,
Yes.
I take that into great consideration right from the beginning. I create a secure relationship and space for them to no judgment, to get a feel for who they are and what they know, and I'm able to connect with them first. Then I spend a lot of time on basically educating them generally about what I do and how I do it and how finances and everything works. It's not my exact process
Right.
on how I take someone from being onboarded to being a client, but that's how I start. It's very conversational, very slow, very open, very safe.
Yes.
And from there we're able to move forward into the more of this process-oriented approach I take.
That's wonderful. And I think one thing too that, you're looking at that financial mountain, that financial planning, it can be overwhelming. I'll be honest with you.
Sure.
I mean, for me personally, you're looking at everything that's online, that's coming to you in email, all of that. What are some of the places that people can start as far as financial planning? If you're looking at that mound of information, if you have those people just starting up that financial mountain and they're fearful to get started, what are some of the stepping blocks that you start with?
So when someone comes to me
Yes.
and they're dealing with a lot in front of them, I'm able to break it down for them piece by piece.
Okay.
That's how you have to do it. You
Right.
can't do it all at once. So at first, so there's really no rush. There's no rush.
Okay.
So if I get a referral or a client, say they're recently widowed or recently divorced, right away I'll make sure that they have all their documentation done, all their
Okay.
basic documents.
Right.
If they don't have a will or a pour-over will or healthcare surrogate or any trust and estate work needed, I'll make sure that's taken care of.
Okay.
If they have that, I'll review it, because a lot of people who have that in place currently don't really know what it says.
That is true.
They
Right? Yes.
they did it 10 years ago, perhaps their brother's in charge after things go haywire and they had a falling out with their brother. Things change.
Yes,
and
they do.
those types of documents are fluid in nature many times, and they can be changed and
Right.
updated throughout the
Right.
course of one's life. So I start there first. Then I take a look at their financial picture with the prospect. I'll do a detailed financial plan, which puts everything together for them. Once you have the detailed financial plan, you're able to look at things from a different lens. It's more organized. You know what you're going to be able to do, how you're going to be able to do it, and how you're going to get there. And then once we figure out how you're going to get there, what's appropriate for one person isn't always appropriate for another.
True.
So the financial plan will tell you what you need to do and target with investments. And even if that target with investments is stock market-like returns, I spend a lot of time educating that person on what that really means, what that really feels like. Just because the financial plan says you need to be in the stock market, well, if one's emotional relationship is such that ride, being in the market, getting the market's average or trying to be in that medium isn't good for them emotionally and isn't a
Right.
good fit,
Yes.
then they shouldn't be there.
That's true.
And they should either save more, live off less, do whatever they have to do, because they're not going to be able to be a market participant, because there's a lot of things go on in that space. Unless you understand every single one of them,
Yeah.
you're able, you don't know where they should be until you really get to know them.
You know, what I like about what you're saying right now, I'll be honest with you, is two things. Number one is when you're looking at that mound of information that you're confronted with, is breaking it down into small pieces. It makes it manageable, doesn't it?
Yes.
That's the first thing. And the second thing is financial planning is not a cookie cutter business, is it? I mean, you have to individualize, and that's what you're saying. One person, what might work for one person may not work for the next. Am I right?
That's correct. And just how you meet someone and you become friends with them, or
Yes.
you meet someone and you become in a romantic relationship with them,
Right.
you have to be a good fit with each other.
Yes.
Regardless of what you do that's appropriate for one with investing or planning or documents, you have to connect with them on a more of an emotional level. And if you don't have that connection, you don't have anything else.
That is true.
And that connection then leads, for me, into education and expectations on what we're doing and why we're doing it. And if that's not a good fit for them, then we're not going to do it. A lot of advisors will be let go or fired
Yes.
because communication or expectations have twisted.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, if the market, if the market, like for instance, January, first quarter of last year, the market went down a bit. And that's part of a normal market cycle. I wouldn't say that, in my opinion, that, that can happen if you're in the stock market.
True.
But if you weren't able to talk to your clients about that and that happening, and that's a possibility, if they didn't expect that, then you're going to be let go, because they're going to think that nobody told me about this.
That is true.
So the more you can connect, the more you can educate, the more you can set one's expectations for the appropriate investment environment they're going to be in and participating in, the better, the more secure, and the longer lasting the relationship is going to be between you and your relationships. I try to keep my book under 100 clients. I feel like to do what I do.
So that's unique.
Yeah.
You're not. I mean,
I can't. Yeah.
Right.
So my father's been doing this 40 years, Bruce Rudenberg, and he also tries to keep a small, holistic book. And it's not how big we can get; it's more how small we can stay.
Right.
Because we're not all things to all people; we're all things to some people.
I love that.
So to do my job correctly in a holistic manner, that I literally become someone's financial CFO. I
Right.
take care of a lot of things for my relationships. It gets more and more difficult to do that for me when I have 150, 200 clients. I'm dealing with one's life savings, all of them, all the money they have, and I can't. For me, it stays more intimate, more organized when I have a smaller, tighter group of people.
I agree. And I think, as a client, I mean, that you have to be more comfortable with that too.
That's right.
So, going up the financial mountain like we were talking about, I say we're on our way. You've helped us get on our way. I mean, we're real comfortable. We're becoming educated. The light is going on. And in going up that mountain, what mistakes do you see, common mistakes do you see people making?
Well, going up that mountain, as in getting started, or after you're already...
we're already started and
we're on the way.
Mm-hmm.
So the stock market can go up and it can go down.
That is
but
true.
It does so... it doesn't go in either direction in a straight line. So if staying the course can be difficult for clients over the long term.
Meaning just, the going gets rough and you kind of bail out? Is that?
Right. So
Okay.
again, as I educate and connect with a new relationship, they're going to understand that over time, a lot can happen.
Yes.
But it's certainly more likely that if it does go up, it's not going to go up in a straight line. There's going to be ups and downs
Right.
on the way to wherever you're going to go. And understanding that process is key.
That's
So
great.
staying the course is one thing that I find that now again, you don't want to just set it and forget it. You want to have a risk control mechanism, so you have something to help you protect on the downside, something to have you participate on the upside, whatever that may be. But again, you want to be able to stay the course. My clients, Well, I do a financial plan. So in the financial plan that I have, there's a dot that shows you if you're on target to reach your goals.
Okay.
And a lot of my clients will just ask me, where am I on track? Regardless of what the market does, they understand that the stock market is unpredictable and does a lot of things all the time. But the financial plan, which is unemotional, unbiased, will keep you on track, and it factors in. It knows that it knows those things. It expects you to have a great year and a bad year and everything in between.
Right.
So if you have a bad quarter, a bad month, or a bad year, you can oftentimes lose perspective. And what the plan does, and what I try to do, is keep them in the right lens and focused. So they're not asking me, how much did I lose, how much did I win? It's more, am I on track to meet my financial goals? Taking someone from a working lifestyle to a work optional lifestyle and getting them from point A to point B. Am I on track still?
Yes.
And that takes a lot of worry away, because as long you can tell if you do it correctly that you're still on track, regardless of if you're down some or up some. It keeps you grounded.
You know what that reminds me of is, in my day-to-day, just going through my day, I'm a big list maker. I'll share that with you. I make lists every day, at the beginning of the day, and then I check things off.
Right.
You know what that does is it breaks it down into those manageable pieces that you're talking about. A financial plan does that too, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, when I check it off, how good do I feel when I know that I have that under my belt?
Right.
A financial plan does that as well. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, the financial plan makes someone feel secure, as if and things that are unmanageable become manageable.
Right.
And again, I'm very process oriented. So within the first 3 months of meeting me, and if we're a good fit, you're going to have things, as long as I can have the time from
right.
the new relationship to meet with me 3 or 4 times, I'll walk them through, the documents, the planning, the investment sides that's appropriate for them, and they'll have a better understanding of what this is. And again, no obligation. If we get to that point and
yes.
it's all too much for them, then it's all too much for them. But again, I haven't found that to be the case yet. I find that those assets in transition, they're
right.
For those people who have a job and they have an income and they're saving and they have the ability to have a paycheck and save off of that paycheck and just go down that road, it's a lot easier for them, because there's more consistency behind that. For those who to be able to save and follow the process forward,
right.
As they work and get closer to retirement, they save and they invest, and that sort of falls right with them. It's a nice marriage. For those who were in literally a marriage and
yes.
then are separated, oftentimes the spouse, the wife, won't have the relationship in the marriage that the husband had with me, and they're looking for that guidance after they come out of that with some sort of settlement, and those people need the attention and the care and frankly the love
yes.
that I try to give to a client.
You know what, that brings up a really very interesting point, because we're talking about fear with regards to finances.
Mm-hmm.
It is virtually impossible to divorce your emotions from the finances. Am I correct in saying that? And putting it in perspective, and having somebody like you who is able to get to know me, get to know my family, get to know how I work, that puts the emotions into perspective, and then you have the analytical part, which is the actual plan. It's a good combination.
I think it's all emotional often when somebody's feeling like they have this mountain to climb, it's overwhelming, yes. I'm not sure what direction to go. You really have to spend a lot of time in that space, and a lot of men can and cannot be okay with that vulnerability with somebody and be able to sit with them and empathize with them, right. and sort of get that and create a safe space for them. I don't necessarily talk about what I do and how I do it until the second or third call with somebody,
okay.
as they're getting to know me. So again, I think that fear with finances goes away partly because of the planning and the stuff
yes.
that financial advisors do with one's financial affairs, but oftentimes the connection they have with another person. So if you're lost on an island and you're alone, it would be easier, at least at first, to be lost on an island with your best friend.
Yes.
Because you have that comfort and you're going through it together.
Right.
You have that organic unity through this team that you've created with another person.
Right.
Right? I got to paint this wall behind me, but I only have one paintbrush in me. Wait, now I have my best friend and a paintbrush to do it with me. It perhaps is less
scary.
That's correct.
Oh, I love
so
that.
I try to fit myself in that position when I can.
Yes.
And focus there, and then all of a sudden, you know, they stop catastrophizing things, and they're able to see that they can get a hold of it. And with finances, it can be very finite. You know, you have so much. You're only going to get so much from an inheritance or from a settlement or what have you. So you know what you're dealing with usually, you know, right in front of you, and that's what you work with.
Yes.
The emotional side, though, is much more difficult, and having someone like yourself to be able to talk to, and you know, if it's after a divorce or recently widowed, for example, to have someone like you to guide them through the grieving process in the right way, to demonstrate to the right things to their kids if they're in the picture or the family, and to be healthier on the other side. So when that person is ready for their next romantic venture, they're the best version of themselves they can be.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And
That really
I think
puts
that gets lost a lot.
You know, it does. It does. And it's really refreshing for me and also our viewers out there to hear that. So we're going to take this opportunity to take a break.
Sure.
Okay, for all of you out there, we have a sponsor message. We will be right back. We're asked a lot of times, what are the goals of Plumb Talk? And honestly, that's a question that's a little difficult in a way to answer because we have so many goals. But, you know, learning from past mistakes, you know, I have taken these goals and we've kind of condensed them into really two different realms of goals. Number one is we aim to educate the community, and that is a very important thing for us. We are a resource, and how I like to explain that is, you know, in our lives, you know, a lot of us go through some trying times, and we like to, here at Plumb Talk, describe our life as a puzzle. And, you know, any puzzle has pieces, and all of our pieces to the puzzle in our life are different. And there are times in our life, and I'm sure you can relate to this, when those pieces of the puzzle either become loose or, you know, they're missing altogether, and we need that information. We need something to put that piece back together again. And that's what Plumb Talk aims to do. We aim to be the resources that you can really take that information and put your piece of the puzzle back together again. And we do that through many different avenues. One, and you probably have seen this, is we interview specialists in different areas. And again, that's what we're trying to do, is to bring information in to put the pieces of the puzzle back together again. So we aim to be a resource. That's one of our major goals. The second thing is our production arm that we have. And our production arm is a little different than, you know, what typical production companies do. Our major aim with our production is to give businesses out there a voice that helps them to get their message across in a way that nobody else can. And we do that in several different ways. We are a full service production company, and we do everything from, you know, creating a program to writing the script to coaching on how to speak properly in front of a camera and editing. We have state-of-the-art editing techniques. So Plumb Talk has many different goals, but they really focus on those two major arms. We aim to be a resource, and we aim to help businesses out there get their voice known and heard like it's never been heard before. Well, hello everyone. We are back, and I'll tell you what, we have talked a lot today, a new spin on finances, right? Talking about emotions, with regards to finances. It really puts it into perspective. For that, I thank you. So for viewers that are out there, Brian, who, you know what, they have some hope today. What parting words of wisdom would you give them?
I would say that to not kick the can down the road. So often getting started with their financial affairs or their new financial life or freedom is put off for one reason or another. So I would say one is getting started is key. And also with their finances, I would say finding the right me is also key.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that do what I do, and everyone does it differently. All financial advisors certainly aren't the same.
That's true.
So you want to be able to have a good connection, someone who has a process, who can take their time, who can educate you. You want to know, what you own and why you own it. You know what's protecting you on the downside, what you're paying in fees.
True.
Things should be very clear and transparent. And if it fits you, so it should be a loving family type of connection, somewhere safe.
Yes, I agree, and that's the key, right?
For me it is.
Somewhere safe. So for viewers out there that have seen this interview and they want to know more about you and what you provide, where would you point them?
Wells Fargo Advisors in Miami, Florida, but more directly my webpage, which is Rudenberg, RUDENBERG, FSG for financialstrategiesgroup.com.
Perfect. Well, Brian, this has been enlightening today, and we want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me on to the program. You're great. This is great. I can't be a million thank yous.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate you thinking of me.
Oh, it's our pleasure, really. So for all you viewers out there, this has been another segment of From the Hip. So, let's all dive into those finances. We'll climb that mountain. Until next time, this is Dr.